can have some manners.
Like I said, excuse you.
You can have some fucking manners.
Like I said, excuse you.
Have some manners.
Like I said, excuse you.
All right, guys, gotta talk about this crazy story from this hyena galloping in the wild and assaulting a man. As you guys saw at the beginning of this video, she threw her drink in his face, followed up by punching him, right? Putting hands and feet on him to the point where I had to blur it out due to YouTube's guidelines. Now, the guy that she assaulted, apparently he's some sort of influencer, a streamer, and he was streaming the whole thing, got the whole thing on camera. And now people are in her comment section calling her out, rightfully so, in regards to her conduct and behavior, to the point where it forced her to respond with a follow-up video, an apology video. I wouldn't even call it that, but let's take a look.
And one thing about it, I never put my hands on anybody and don't expect them not to hit me back. I expect anybody to hit me back. If I put my hands on you, I expect you to hit me back. I'm not saying just go out here and be putting your hands on me like that. But my mom, no, that's not even it. I got uncles, brothers, like, you know what I'm saying? No. But word of my mom, I'm not justifying what I did, but be for real. You damn near antagonized me a little bit. I'm sweet as I'm a little mean, but I'm still sweet as at the end of the day. I'm not just about to be out here wilding like that. No. I feel like was just trying to put me on the spot, so I reacted. You feel me? And I'm drunk. It's like I really, at this point, I really don't even know what I'm doing for real. I'm ready on 10. Dude trying to fight before that. I'm on 10, and the next thing something crazy to me. You see what happened? Like, no. But once again, like I said my apologies or whatever. Y'all can get off my. Thank you. I'm not saying I was right, dead ass wrong, but I still did it at the end of the day. Drunk as. The demons was in me. Sorry.
Sounds like she's doubling and tripling down in regards to her conduct. She's now shifting the blame on alcohol. Okay, she has demons in her, according to her. She's probably sipping on Don Julio, okay, hookah and crab legs. And the crab leg, yo, you can't make this stuff up. You can't. These chicks have no sort of accountability whatsoever, right? So, you know, this is who she really is, okay? Because let's be honest, I did take a look at her other videos on her TikTok to see, you know, maybe it was just a one-off situation. No, this is who she really is, okay? This is her personality.
Like, oh, I'm gonna come get you soft. I'm gonna tear down that wall you got put up just to f it up. Just to f it up. The whole wall. You should have set the wall on fire. Okay.
Stop it. Get some help.
Let's go ahead and check out some of these comments. Let's see what the folks have to say here. First commenter says, anything but accountability. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Next commenter says, would have put you on a t-shirt for real. I mean, hey, if you're going to put hands and feet on somebody, expect the unexpected. Okay, equal rights, equal lefts. You may encounter somebody that may not have the discipline not to put his hands on you back, because, you know, hey, if you ask a lot of folks, they may say he may have a case to ultimately retaliate. I'm just saying. Next comment says, man, you lucky he have self-control. Absolutely. Absolutely. If he was a loose cannon, ain't no telling what would have happened in that situation. Next comment says, it's too late. The universe got something for you. Absolutely. What goes around comes around. And it seems like it's already happening because she has thousands and thousands of comments of people calling her out. Now, I do want to take a look at this next clip from this woman. Caption reads, men are physically stronger than women. She's going to be describing a time where she put her hands on a man. Take a look.
I used to get into a lot of physical altercations with young men in my high school days. And I got away with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got away with it. They would piss me off. They would say the wrong thing. They'd bother me, whatever. And I would get to using these hands. And I remember there was a football player who pissed me off so bad and was making fun of me. And when I tell you, I went up to him and I grabbed his textbook and I hit him in the face with his own textbook. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not pleased. However, the restraint that he had, and I'm grateful because he was a football player in high school, and I'm only 5'2", okay? Could barely run and passed them little fitness tests that we used to take in high school. That was a thing I was doing in high school. I was so angry, and I had like this visceral hate for men in high school because of many different things. I have explained on this page that I am a survivor of many things. And it showed when I was in high school. I was always very angry. I was very cold. I was very distant. I isolated myself. So men were a huge trigger. One day when I was still in high school, I think I might have been 17, getting ready to leave for undergrad, my mother and my brother got into some verbal altercation, verbal spat, and he was calling her all types of things. She was calling him all types of shit. Like, it was just disrespectful. And here goes that trigger. And here I go trying to find myself to defend my mom. Even though my mom was in the wrong, right?
Right, so you're 5'2", probably 120 pounds soaking wet, and you think that you're going to beat up football players and men, grown men. It just doesn't make any sense.
My brother was telling me, yo, back up. Like, back up, stay out of it. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Mind your business, right? Why you taking up for her? Because in my mind, I'm like, you're a young man. You should never talk to a woman like that. You should never say anything. And in his defense, right, he was like, so y'all get to just say whatever y'all want to me. Y'all get to call me, you know, at the time we were still labeling people as the R word, right? Things like that. And he's like, y'all get to say that. You get to say I have these mental illness and y'all get to, right? And he was right? Like, you don't get to use people's mental illness and things against them when you're angry, and then you expect them to just be like, well, I'm a man, so I'm not gonna, defend myself, right? He was correct in that moment. But of course, I don't know any better. All I see is, you're a man, you're talking to our mother this type of way. No. And he kept on saying, back up, don't get in my face, mind your business, right? And I in my mind, I'm like, trigger, trigger, trigger. So I learned my lesson that day because I got up in his face. And my brother I'm the 5'2". My brother and my sister, I'm older, they got the height. My sister might be about 5'8", 5'9". My brother's close to 6 feet tall. I didn't get height at all. I'm only 5'2". And, he was doing a lot of weights and, he's a big dude, right? And before I knew it, after he had asked on numerous occasions to stop and leave him alone and don't get in his face and all these things, and here I am, just defend mommy, and you can't do this and you shouldn't do that, right? Because that's all I knew. Before I knew it, my brother had his hands around my neck. And I remember swinging and trying my all to just get him off me. And it just wasn't working. And my mother was the one that was like, get off of her. Like, at that point, we were like, get off of her. Get your hands from around her neck. I say all this to say that after that day, I never got in a man's face. My brother taught me a huge lesson that day. And, I was very hurt, of course, because I was like, I can't believe my brother would do this. But the truth is that my brother didn't see sister at the time. My brother saw enemy. My brother got to the point where it was like, well, like, y'all are attacking me clearly, right? You're pushing a button and you pushed the right one.
After around and found out. Right? Again, I don't see or understand why women feel the need to escalate it to that point. Okay, it seems like for her specifically in this situation, she has some sort of trauma that she was trying to take out on men, and she effed around and found out. Right? And sometimes it only takes one example for these modern women to get it right. So, I don't necessarily condone, putting hands and feet on a woman. But it seems like she found out the hard way and she learned a valuable lesson not to do it again.
Sister, mother, friend, daughter, cousin, what? It completely went over his head. And he was like, well, it's not correct. It's not correct at all. But why I'm telling this story is because the strength of a man is not one that I think women should be out here just testing. Up and down our timeline, we are taught all types of things, right? The misandrous shit, and men ain't this and men ain't that, on top of whatever your household is teaching you. You can believe what you want. But I learned, and I think it is going to be important for women to understand, that men are physically stronger than us. I know we have our Olympic gymnasts and heavyweight champs and all that, and that's great. We're not one of them, okay? The average woman is not out here on her Clarissa Shields, and even she wouldn't survive in a ring with Tyson or something like that, right? And granted, most men don't have the strength or the agility of Tyson, but they're physically stronger than us. And we have to recognize that. When I got on here and I was telling folks that what comes out of our mouths and, what we say can bring in life and or death, figuratively or literally, to our spaces, to our communities, to ourselves. People were in the comments talking about, I'm always defend myself, feminism, and all that's great. No one is saying that you don't speak up for yourself. No one is saying that you don't, you just allow a man to just speak to you and treat you any old type of way. No one is saying that. But what I'm saying is that lady that is now passed on, and I believe her husband is now passed on too, they both should still be here. And that altercation that they got into, or what had happened, and then he did what he did on that live stream, and now she's no longer here with us. It just really is it's a cautionary tale, and it's a reminder to women. We don't need to be out here getting to the point where we are pushing men. We are pushing that button because we're so angry. You don't know what's going to trigger and set that man off. And just because a man shouldn't put his hands on a woman doesn't mean he won't. And it doesn't mean they don't, because we know that they do. We know this. This is always going to be the thing that's protecting us and our intuition. At the end of the day, we can't control what these men do. We can only control ourselves. Me, I'm never getting into a heated dispute with no man. I don't have to prove. I don't have nothing to prove, because you don't know if that man is crazy. You don't know what's about to be that man's thing that's like, I'm done. I'm off my rocker. Right? And I don't want to know. I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out. I love my life too much to want to find out. I don't test my partner. When my partner says, I don't want to talk, you got it. Go take your space. Go do your walk. Because what I'm not about to be is an emotional punching bag or a physical one. And I just think more women really have to understand. You don't have to like that. You don't have to, it's not going to feel good. But it's not feminism to be like, I'm going to just buck up and say whatever I want. Your life could very much so be on the line. And we know that men shouldn't do it. But it's not like they don't. And I just think more women need to be more careful to not f around and find out.
All right, guys, so there you have it. So listen, you should never get to the point where you get physical with anybody, right? You should be able to use your words, problem solve, okay, conflict solve, and get to the root cause of the problem and diffuse and de-escalate these situations, right? With a man, with a woman, with whoever. That should not be your first line of defense when it comes to defending yourself, getting physical, escalating these situations. expecting a man is not going to defend himself.